Well, folks, Democrats are in a lot of trouble in the great state of Pennsylvania. New data shows that for the first time in a very, very long time, Republicans have closed the gap on the Democrats' voter registration advantage in the state. We have data going back to the 90s on voter registration numbers. The Democrats have held an advantage the entire time. That advantage peaked in 2008 when they held roughly about a 1.1 million, let's see, a 1.1 million. Here, I'm going to say that again, 1.1 million voter registration advantage in the state of Pennsylvania. In that same election, Obama beat out John McCain in that state by about 650,000 votes. Just insane. It is insane. The great state of Pennsylvania's really Democrat voter registration, the hold they had on it is over. It is near the end at this point. In recent history, Pennsylvania, it has been very indicative of who will win the presidency. There's a couple exceptions to this. One of those will be during George Bush's entire tenure. So let's just start where we are right now. 2024, Pennsylvania won by President Trump. 2020, won by President Biden. 2016, Trump won it, which really broke up the blue wall. Obama voted for Obama twice, 2012 and 2008. But in 2004, it voted for John Kerry, and in 2000, it voted for Al Gore. Besides that, you keep going back, it voted for Bill Clinton in 96, 92, it voted for George H.W. Bush in 88. In 84, it voted for Ronald Reagan. The same thing in 80, it voted for Ronald Reagan. All the way we can go back to 1968 was the last time, which was kind of a weird election too, because we had a third major candidate, George Wallace, in the race, in which Richard Nixon won the Electoral College by a pretty big margin, but did not win the great state of Pennsylvania here. Now, we all know Pennsylvania is a part of the blue wall. This was how Democrats really felt that they could win elections moving forward. If they held the blue wall, that's how they won elections. That simply is just how they viewed it. They felt that if they could hold on to Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, that would allow them really to carry elections moving forward. And obviously, it is broke for them. It is not in a good place in the current state from where it is right now. But the real question is how much does voter registration really matter? Many people make the argument that it doesn't matter that much, which I partially agree with. Voter registration is not everything, but when you see a swing of 1 million voters over the course of 17 years, it is 100% a conversation that must be had, and there is a shift behind that. 100% shift behind that. Even just look back into 2022. The Democrats had almost a 600,000, 2022, not that long ago, just a couple years ago. They had a 600,000 voter registration advantage in the state of Pennsylvania. That has shrunk down even, just look back 4 months ago, to the 2024 election. They had a 286,000 voter registration advantage. Today, March 5th, oh, it's actually March 4th. It actually just became March 5th. Recording this at 12:01 in the morning right now. Pennsylvania voters has dropped, their registration has dropped below 100,000 Democrat advantage. I don't like that it says Democratic here. There's nothing Democratic about the Democrat Party. Call it as it is, Michael. I really like the data you put out there, buddy, but call them what they are. They are Democrats. Like we said, just from now to 5 months ago, it's shrunk by 190,000 votes, or 100 advantage. The advantage, like we said, 550,000 2 years ago. In 2020, they had a 685,000 vote advantage. Let's look at that election. This is the 24 election. Let's find and here's 2016. Let's look at this. 2016, President Trump won the state by, what would you say, about 50,000 votes. In 2016, they had a registration advantage of about 900,000. At the same time, they had a 900,000 vote advantage. President Trump was able to carry that state. Let's look at, let's look at 2020 here. Biden wins the state of Pennsylvania, not by much, but he won it by about, what would you say that is, 80,000 votes. He won the state of Pennsylvania by. It's 1.2% of the total votes cast, so about 80,000 votes he won by. At the same time, Democrats had a voter registration advantage of roughly 700,000. So you're even able to shrink, he was able to shrink that even more. And now, this data is that we have on here is 2024. There was still a pretty big gap here. There was still a 300,000 voter registration gap here. Very big gap. And it is very clear that Pennsylvania is shifting one way. And we know that. Pennsylvania has been very indicative of who's going to win a presidential election. It's like they vote, like over the course of Pennsylvania's history, they voted for the winning candidate in an election like 75 or 80% of the time. Don't quote me on the exact number, but it's somewhere between like 70 and 80%. That is pretty damn accurate when it comes to feeling out the tide of the country, which direction the country is going. And, it's not just happening in Florida. It is not. It's like anyone who thinks that this is something that is just in Pennsylvania is just not very well informed of reality. There's really no other way to put it. Not only has voter registrations shifted, like, think about this. Let's look at this. Let's see. There's a good. Oh, who is it through? I'm going to find it here real quick. Let's do Eric. I tell you what a great resource here. Oh, we're not going to go to his website. We're going to go to Florida Voice News. And let's see, registration dashboard. Here we go. Look at this right here. This just goes, and now, unfortunately, this only goes back to November from what the advantage was. But Democrats, back in like 2016, or even back to 2008, they had like a 2 million voter registration advantage in the state of Florida. Florida turned from a Democrat stronghold, where they had a huge voter registration advantage, where it was a purple state, but they had a huge voter registration advantage, to now the fact that Republicans dominate the state of Florida. They have a current voter registration advantage of almost 1.2 million votes in the state of Florida, when this was a purple, very swing state not like a decade ago. Even back to 2018 when DeSantis won. He only won by 30,000 votes. It is not just limited to what is going on in Pennsylvania right now. This is something that we are seeing across the country. And not even just in the shift of voter registration, the way people actually vote. Look at these hotspots here. California, they shifted like 10 points to the right. Florida shifted like 12 points to the right. Texas shifted like 7 or 8 points to the right. New York shifted like 10 points to the right. Look at all of this red here. This is how much it shifted from 2020 to 2024. It is insane what is going on here. And like I said, not just limited to Georgia, to Pennsylvania. You see it in Nevada. Republicans took an advantage in the state that Harry Reid, the longtime Senate Democrat leader, was from. And now, no longer. Nevada, let's see if we can find, Nevada on here. Nevada, here we go. Look at this. Wow, barely. The Republicans have what? A 200 vote advantage in the state of Nevada, which is a state that had voted for Democrats for decades and decades and decades. And now the Republicans have a huge advantage there. And you know what's sad? You even look at places like New Hampshire. They've got a pretty big Republican advantage there. But ultimately, what it comes down to is there are a lot of independents and a lot of people who are not registered Republicans or Democrats who get out and vote. That's really the big one there. But this is, like I said, not limited to just Pennsylvania here. And really the big question is, how could this change the electoral map going forward? How could this, let's just take a look here. Let's see. I believe the Democrats, they win that. I believe Trump wins. Okay, let's see. Republicans would win. And maybe it's the other way around here. I forget. It's 12:08 in the morning. Apologies if there's any anything here. But let's just let's see. The Democrats, okay, Republicans are going to hold all these states. Okay, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. Let's just go through and get this all filled out here. I think that is it here. New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, D.C., Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New York, Virginia, Illinois, Minnesota. I'm going to put them right there. Let's see. Is there anything else? New Mexico, Colorado. I'd even put them two right there. And let's get our toss-ups in here. So this is kind of where the map stands as it is right now. I'd say Nevada is a Republican. I'm not going to say stronghold. It's still a purple state, but I can definitely see this. They have a Republican governor there. They've got I believe a Republican attorney general, and they voted for President Trump in the 2024 election. It's like, look at this. This is where the Republicans are. Let's just say North Carolina is a toss-up, just for shits and giggles. Let's just say North Carolina is a toss-up. And let's throw Georgia in there too. If you're looking at this map here, I would much rather be a Republican than a Democrat. 100%, all day long. If Pennsylvania becomes more of a Republican lean, look at this. This is a 30 electoral vote advantage over the Democrats before you even get into the swing states. The Democrats could carry Michigan. They could carry North Carolina. I really don't see them consistently carrying Georgia. I think it'll be tight. But look at this. And honestly, if anything, it would actually probably be the other way around. I'd see Republicans carrying Michigan. Let's just take a look. They won it, and this is this year. Well, let's see. Michigan, Trump won. They're going to give me let's see. Trump won by, 90,000 votes, 80,000 votes. In Wisconsin, I think he only won by like 30,000 votes. Yeah, look at that. 30,000 votes he won by. I definitely would say Michigan is much more closer to a toss-up. Wisconsin would be much closer to a toss-up than Michigan would be. But you're looking at this map here, I would much rather be a Republican. If Pennsylvania becomes kind of it's no longer part of the blue wall, and these are the toss-up states that you're looking at here, let's just say these are the toss-up states here. And let's even throw Arizona in here. I'm going to say 7 or 8 times out of 10, Arizona's going to the Republicans. I'm going to say 6 or 7 times out of 10, it's going to the Republicans in Nevada. Georgia, probably 7 times out of 10, we're seeing that go to the Republicans. That's 269 there. Take your pick. Take your pick. You want Michigan, Wisconsin, or North Carolina? What do you want? Let's say the Democrats even come in here and sweep all of them. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. I forgot about the lonely state of Hawaii. Now, what are we forgetting in here? Where is the 4 toss-up right now? I'm not... Uh-oh. There's 4 electoral votes that are a toss-up right now. Am I just dumb as all get out? I don't know. Obviously, it's something for the Democrats that I'm missing out here. But ultimately, I would much, 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 much rather be a Republican in this scenario right here than I would be a Democrat. It's like I said, take your pickings. Where do you guys want to win? Take your pickings. If these are the toss-ups here, I'd much rather be a Republican here. So I think this could be a big, especially if Nevada and Pennsylvania become, lean on a federal level Republican states. It's like, and I'd even classify, I think there's some nuances to Georgia politics, but I think you could make the case that it's going to lean to the Republicans. And I think you can make the same case North Carolina. It leans towards the Republicans here. But ultimately, yeah, it's just ultimately, I don't think there's any, here we go. Ultimately, I'd much rather be a Republican in this position here. And I think I figured out where I was having that issue. It's, yeah, even look at this. They're able to pick all those up. Sure, take Wisconsin, take Michigan. Doesn't really make a damn difference. Doesn't make a difference. Oh, you guys want to take North Carolina? Doesn't make a difference. It really doesn't. Sorry. And let's say the Republicans can pick up Michigan. Okay, fine. We'll give you guys, and you trade it for Georgia. You're still at 270. And then after the next census takes account and electoral votes are shifted to places away from California, towards Texas, towards Florida, let's see if we can, let's just confirm this. Let's say president, gosh, I wish they had one for 2028, or excuse me, for 32, so we could look at what it would be for the next election after that, just to see, like, what would the shift be, after you see votes being taken away from places like California. Places like California, Oregon, Washington, New York Minnesota are going to be given votes or their electoral votes to places like Arizona, Nevada, Texas, Florida, Georgia. That's where you're going to see it pour into, which is going to structurally help the Republicans even more continue to win elections for generations to come. But this is what we have. Democrat voter advantage in Pennsylvania has collapsed. I'm looking forward to seeing the Republicans take complete control of that in the upcoming future. Drop down below, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you never miss another video from us in the future. Thank you guys very, very much.